Daffodils by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads and sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in waken or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils.
You heard the poem Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth. Dear children, good morning everybody. Welcome to English online class. Today we are going to discuss the poem written by William Wordsworth, as I said earlier, Daffodils. So this poem you might have learned sometimes in the previous classes also, because in a school, in every syllabus, ICSC, CBSC, or even in state syllabus and all, the poem Daffodils, one of the poem written by William Wordsworth, will be given as a topic for learning. There is a reason also for that. The reason is that the topic or the subject of the poem of William Wordsworth is always late, and the language he uses very simple, the language of common man. And unlike any other poems of his age on 18th century, his poems are written in simple form, on simple thoughts, on about common experiences of every people. So here also the Daffodils poem, we can go and we can listen and study the poems in detail. I welcome everybody to this video. Okay, shall we start the poem? The poem Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth. First of all, we can look and we can try to learn something about William Wordsworth. I told you already, but anyway, a bit about William Wordsworth. We know his time was, he was living in 18th century. The poem Daffodils, written by this romantic poet in 1804, and it is again updated. The latest version, it is in 1815 actually. Daffodil is one of the most popular poems of the Romantic age, describing the poet's excitement, love, and prize for a field blossoming with daffodils. That is the topic of the poem. Daffodils. William Wordsworth wrote daffodils on a stormy day in spring while Ullswater Lake in England. Almost all his poems has, as he said, that had been collected from tranquility, that from his personal experience. William Wordsworth, all the poems, when we take that he has done it based on his personal experience. He imagined that the daffodils were dancing and calling him to join and enjoy the breezy nature of the field. The poem contains 6 lines in 4 stanzas as an appreciation of daffodils. Line by line, we can look into the poem. First, the first line, it starts like this. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Here we know you have learned the poetic devices. There is a poetic device in this line also. Can you say that? You can say very simple. It's a simile. I wandered. He was wandering. He wandered alone, lonely as a cloud. As a cloud is that compared, his loneliness or his wandering has been compared with cloud, that as it moves like that, he was walking, he was wandering, that floats on high over vales and hills. And as the clouds are moving over the sky, he was also moving, wandering, he was floating. He also used a imagination that he floats on high over vales and hills. Vales means valleys, now modern English. Over the valleys and over the hills he was wandering. Then wandering, we know, moving aimlessly. Vales and hills means that naturalized areas of land. That we know that hills is not that much difficult word actually. When all at once I saw a crowd. Then he was wandering like that. Just like a cloud is wandering over the sky, I was wandering over the hills and valleys, and just I saw, all at once I saw a crowd. He saw a crowd. Crowd, we know that's people. The word we use to describe many people, crowd. But here that crowd of a host, that crowd was the host. So when we are inviting a guest to our home, we are the host and they are the guest, and we will be waiting. Or sometimes in a meeting or something, when we are being invited, we will go there and we can see a guest, many people over there. So they are the host, they are waiting to receive us, great personalities and all. When they are celebrities and all, when they are coming, the crowd will receive them, just like that. I saw at once a crowd. I saw it was, then is the imagination using, just like a host of golden daffodils. A crowd he could see at once. They were waiting, that crowd was waiting to receive the guest. Here the guest is Wordsworth, and it was the golden daffodils. Here also he has used another poetic device, that golden daffodils. Actually it is not golden. There is no real golden color, it's yellow color. So but he has given such a priority, or what we can say, that much importance to that is appealing of that daffodils. Then these daffodils were beside the lake. We have learned the confusing word of besides and beside. Here beside the lake, beneath the tree. You see, as a visualization, that crowd of daffodils as a host, they were waiting beside the lake, along the lake, under the tree. These daffodils were. It was fluttering and dancing in the breeze. There is another poetic device has been used in this line. Can you say that? Which poetic device? That daffodils. Daffodils means, as in the background you can see here, like this, that flower is called daffodils, it. And that was fluttering and dancing in the. What is fluttering? Fluttering means just like the birds are moving the feathers like that, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So here poet has used the device, that personification. Actually the daffodils will not flutter, it will not dance, but poet has used the poetic device personification in it. It was fluttering and dancing in the breeze, in the wind. Fluttering means hover by flapping the wings quickly and lightly is called fluttering. Crowd, needless to say that. Just like the crowd, the daffodils were crowded. The poet has compared himself to a floating cloud passing over hills and valleys. In this stanza, he was on a stroll through the countryside when he suddenly came across countless yellow daffodils. These daffodils were beside a lake under trees. The flowing made the daffodils, and it seemed as if they were dancing. This is what we discussed in this stanza, the first stanza of the poem. Now we can move on to the next stanza of the poem. Starts like this: continuous as the stars that shine. The daffodils was continuously, it outstretched, just like as the stars. Again, he used the simile, compared that the daffodils with the stars that shine. Stars are countless, like that. The daffodils were countless, the daffodils, and tinkle on the Milky Way. It was tinkling on the Milky Way, just like in the galaxy. The stars are tingling, tingle, tingle, little like that. Here, this the daffodils, as in the picture, it was tinkling, it was dancing, fluttering, tingle, tingle, and on the Milky Way. Just like that, the daffodils was along the side of the lake. They stretched. Again, the poet is again explaining the vastness of the daffodils, or the beauty of daffodils, and how much the countless number of daffodils. They stretched in never-ending line. That is the beauty. It stretched till beyond our eyesight. Beyond our eyesight, it stretched. That has gone very long. It is never-ending line. In a line, never-ending line, just like in the Milky Way, how the stars are, like that it is. They stretched in never-ending line. Then, along the margin of a bay, all the daffodils are along the margin of a bay. Bay, we know, Bay of Bengal, and like this, not Bay of Bengal, it's a lake. Along the side of the water, along the side of the water, you see, so it will have another beauty. Along the side of the pond or lake or water body, so there will be the reflection of the daffodils also can be seen in the water. When you are imagining of the sight, it is more beautiful. And when along the side of it outstretched, now as a never-ending line, it is at the margin of the bay, all the daffodils are lining up and crowded. You see, that will be under the tree. So that could be a beautiful sight. So here the Wordsworth is writing the poem. This is what we said. He will write the poems about the common topic. Earlier, at his age, the same age, in 18s, people were writing poems about king, poems about queen, poems about the kingly matters. Like that, they were the topic. But he brought the poetic topic into the common peoples, like this simple thing. About a daffodil also we can write a poem. About a bridge we can write a poem. About everything we can write a poem. So that idea or that innovation is brought by William Wordsworth. Don't forget, when you think about William Wordsworth, you have to think about the drastic change he brought in poetry. This is what his contribution in poetry. So let us continue the lines. Again, the next line: 10,000 saw I at a glance. He telling 10,000 Here we have learned a poetic device. You remember that I told you 10,000 times not to open the door. Actually, that 10,000 is what is an exaggeration. It's called hyperbole. It's a poetic hyperbole. Actually, it did not count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 985, 980 like that, 10,000 and 7,000 like that. It did not count at all 1, 2. But it says it's an hyperbole. 10,000 saw I at a glance. 10,000 I saw at a glance. At one side I saw 10,000 is a hyperbole. So here daffodils, the scene again. Then it was tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Again personification. The poem that the poet is explaining that again the side that they were tossing. First we said that they were fluttering. Here it is, he used another word, tossing. So it's a tossing, sudden shift. Tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Sprightly means with full energy, not like me, full energy. Energetically, that was dancing. The daffodils were dancing along the way of, along that lake. It was tossing and dancing. Next, so in this stanza, the poet is telling that to William Wordsworth, the daffodils appeared to be as continuous as the twinkling stars on the Milky Way galaxy. They were arrayed, means arranged in a seemingly unending line along the bank of adjacent bay. To the poet, it seemed as if 10,000 daffodils were bobbing in the gentle breeze, and he imagined them to be engaged in a lively dance. So this is all about the second stanza, about his imagination about the daffodils. Everything. He compare that with the Milky Way. He compared the dancing. He compared the tossing and dancing and fluttering. And so like that, and never ending 10,000 and all. This is all together. The second stanza is talking about the poetic imagination. Let us look in the next line. The waves beside them dance. So to enhance the beauty of the daffodils, the waves of the water also just like dancing along with the movement of the daffodils, the waves also beside the daffodils that danced. Again personification, another personification. But they, that daffodil, how did the waves in glee? That means that was spread in a glee means in a happiness. But they how did these daffodils, even the waves are dancing, but the daffodils outdid. That is more beautiful than the waves. Actually waves are also dancing along with the movement of the daffodils, but daffodils they outdid. They means they won in that dancing, in glee, in happiness. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. In a poet, a person could not but be in company with that. Be in that means very be very that means happy in the jocund, in the strong, in the merry company of that, the means lovely company of that daffodils. I gazed. What I did, so to that jocund company, to that strong company, to that merry, intimate company, I gazed and gazed, but little thought. That what actually I did at that time, I just looked, gazed, I just looked and looked and little thought. Little thought means that he did not think at all. So now the poet is thinking, recollecting and writing. At that time, I did not think at all anything, but I was enjoying. I was taking the spirit of the nature. I was getting what we can say, I myself was getting beautified, or means inspired by the nature, the beauty of the nature. I was not thinking. Little thought what well the show to me had brought. This, what a show this nature has brought to me. I did not think about what the show, what this show altogether that has brought to me. You think of, so he was telling that the nature is creating a great show event, just like a grand finale or of the night. Just that much beautiful it was that sight. Now he's recollecting. At that time I did not think. I just looked and looked and kept on looking. For oft when on my couch I lay in vacant or in pensive mood. So he's telling that so when he, for oft means for often, when I am on pensive mode and thoughtful. Pensive means thinking mode, thoughtful mode. I lying on sofa or bed in couch. I lie in vacant in pensive mode. When, so he will think of that sight when he was in pensive mode, alone on a vacant sofa. When he is thinking, he will think of that beautiful sight, recollecting it again and again. In vacant or in pensive mode, they flash upon that inward eye. In my inner eye means in my mind, in my thought, that I think of. In my, not the physical eye, in my inside eye, there is eye. In that eye, I do see it when I am in pensive mode. They flash upon. The sight is like, it is like that. When we happen to see a beautiful sight, again that will flash in our mind. When we heard a song, very melodious song, again and again that will echo in our ear. Like that, where that sight is flashing in my inward eye, means in my mind, which is the bliss of solitude. That is the bliss, that is the presentation, that is the gift of loneliness, solitude, alone. So this is what the poem says. Now we can write, we can explain. Questions answers, the possible question answers and all very easily. So I hope that you have received this book, everybody. The book is available in school. When you are coming, you can coming to school, you can buy it. It is available in the school. This is the real original text. You may know, some of you don't have this, that is why I'm explaining in this video. So what are the questions? These simple lines, very simple line. Please watch the video again if you did not get it, and study it well, all the poems lines and question answers and all I will give you, and already you will have it in your book. And again, if you need any extra, I will give you. And think of the poetic devices and all. Read the poem once again until you get well versed with the lines line by line. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day. Thank you.